All right, so as promised, here's the next part of the video. And with this, the idea is that you would read possibly a passage or an article, and then you would recite what it was about, and then you would do some kind of review or summary. And what I'm going to do is we're going to look at it by paragraph. Now, we've already looked at the vocabulary. And then we did the objectives, which helped us review the vocabulary and helped us put some things together. And since they're the lesson objectives, we know those are the main ideas. But there's finer details that we also need to know. Okay? So for example, we might start with this first paragraph. And I'm going to use a bulleted list. If you don't know how to do that, in Word, it'll be up here. And you can select, different things if you want. And so what you do is I'm going to put in introduction because that is the paragraph that I want. And then if from that line you press enter and then tab, it'll tab over. So I know everything that is indented like that is part of that paragraph. So now I'm going to read the paragraph. Streams. Any running water from a rivulet to a raging river complete the hydrologic cycle by returning precipitation that falls on the land to the oceans. Some of this water moves over the surface and moves through the ground as water. Flowing water does the work of both erosion and deposition. All right, so that's the reading. And then, so this paragraph is talking about how water is on the surface and in the ground, and it does the work of both erosion and deposition. So then, to summarize that, I would say moving water can be on the surface and in the ground or underground. And then I would also say that moving or flowing water causes erosion and deposition. All right. And you might say something about streams return water to the oceans. All rivers eventually flow to the ocean. All right. Now here we have a new subtitle, and then we have like a subtitle. So what we could do is erosion and deposition by streams. So I would expect to learn in the next few paragraphs about how streams cause erosion and deposition. First of all, we're going to learn about erosion by streams. Okay, so I'm going to indent a third time because everything under A is going to be about erosion of deposition, and everything under 2 is about erosion and deposition. So we have those subcategories. All right, and then we're going to read through this, and then we're going to read through that, and we have stages of streams. So that would be like 2B. And then farther down we have stream deposition. That would be 2C. And then groundwater erosion and deposition. That would be like 2D. And then cave formation would probably be number 3. All right. So I'm going to read through that. I don't want to make a video of me reading because that's going to be distracting and a really long video. So I'll be back in just a second for you. Okay, so without going through every detail, um, so here is erosion by streams, and I have erosion and streams over here. And what I did is instead of rehashing every vocabulary definition, because I already have those, um, example, it lists out the three different ways that the river can move things. It dissolves, suspended, or bid load. So I list those and I say these are the ways that a river can move materials. And then I have some other details like the faster the stream is moving, the greater the competence. And here I defined what competence is, kind of, but I can refer back to the vocabulary. And then I also have, why is it not giving me? There we go. Um, and then I have, a steep slope, moves faster, greater competence. I'm not defining competence again. If I don't know what it is, I'm going to look back at my vocabulary. So, but at this point, you should have an idea. And then I have stages of streams, all right? And it runs through there, and I have that information. And then I would keep going, and I would have stream deposition. So the goal here is in that 30 minutes a night that you're studying, you can work through this. Now, maybe you don't get everything done in 30 minutes, but if you get the vocabulary done in 30 minutes, the next night you work on the objectives. The next night after that, you work on the the notes, which is basically what you're doing here. Okay? So, and every time you work on it, it's sticking in your brain a little bit more. Okay? Think about it. You want to learn a football play for the football team. Okay? You don't learn it one time. You practice it over and over again. A new song comes on the radio and it's the best song you've ever heard. Guess what? You don't memorize the lyrics the first time, you listen to it over and over again, and then you've memorized the circles or the lyrics. You want to learn a new dance, okay? You practice it until you learn how to do it. All right? So if these things, if football plays and music lyrics and dances and all these things require you to practice them over and over again, you're going to need to practice your science and your ELA and your math. All right. So that's the goal here, not to give you busy work. All right. It is so that you practice it in your head. Okay. Um, Reading will help you and it will help some people more than others. But most people, the vast majority of people need to read and then do something with what they've read. So that is the goal here. All right. I hope this helps, and I'll see you in class.